All right, so let's talk about the top 10 reasons that you might need a new website for your business. So the number one reason is your website is at least 3 years old. With a lot of the new mobile updates happening, Google just rolled out their mobile getting update in April. Having having a website that is up to date is very, very important. And most likely, if your website is over 3 years old, it hasn't been freshened up in a long time, and probably isn't up to date with the standards of what people are expecting nowadays. So, just like anything else in life, every 2 to 3 years, your website needs a refresh. That doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be completely redone from the ground up, but might need some refreshing and some updating with the coding and pictures and staff and whatnot. So, just make sure that if your website is over 3 years old, that you're taking a look at it and having someone evaluate it, such as myself or anyone else. So the next reason is your site isn't responsive. As you can see here in the picture, we have a tablet, a desktop computer, and a mobile phone, and you want to make sure that your website is viewable and optimized for all of these devices, because it's going to show up differently on all of them. So you want to make sure that you have a mobile responsive website. Now, a mobile responsive website is different from a mobile site. Mobile responsive website actually adjusts to whatever platform it is on, whereas a mobile site is just simply only works on a mobile phone and doesn't look that great. So you want to make sure you're using a mobile responsive site. That's what the search engines recommend as well. So if you do not have a responsive design, if you look at your website on a mobile device and it doesn't adjust to the size of the phone or device that it's on, your website is not mobile responsive. All right, let's go to the next one. Loading time takes forever. If your site is super slow, takes forever to load, and by forever I mean more than 3 to 4 seconds to load, then you need an updated website. Typically, search engines look for a site to load in less than a second, or around a little less than 2 seconds would be ideal. So if your website does take a long time to load, and how you can tell that is just go ahead and type in your website address, and if it's taking a long time to load up the home page, then you probably need an update, and you probably need to work on that site and get it to load a little bit faster. So the next reason is your site isn't search engine optimized. If your site is not optimized for search engine results, such as the keywords that people would use to find your website, then it is time for an update. Your title tags, your meta description, your schema markup, these are all things that need to be optimized within your website for it to rank in the search engines, especially if you are a local business. If you're a local business and you don't have those local indicator geo keywords in your website and in your title tags, you are missing out on a potential ranking. So that needs to be updated as well. All things that happen when you update a brand new site. Your site autoplays music or video. This is my biggest pet peeve. Do not have your website autoplay music or video when someone gets to your site, especially if it's impossible to find out how to turn that off. What happens is a lot of people are actually looking for your product or service. They're surfing the web while they're at work, and their speakers are on. So when they are quietly trying to browse your website and they land on it and this loud speaker music or voice starts happening, they immediately bounce off your site and you lose a potential customer. Okay, your site is tiny. Okay, you can see the picture here. Hello, welcome to my teeny tiny website. If your site isn't automatically adjusting, like we mentioned before, to the display that it's on, then you are missing out. If your site looks like this, it's probably built in the 90s or early 2000s, where there wasn't an automatic sizing adjustment within the code. So you need to, you definitely need a new website if this is the case. So, okay, you have flash animation enter site intro. Okay, Google cannot read your website if your site is a flash site. I know you thought it was pretty fancy a couple years ago that your site would play some sort of, fancy introduction and, move around and whatnot when someone landed on your site. Sure, it looks fancy, but the search engines hate it. It makes for a terrible user experience for your customers, and you will most likely be losing out, and most likely are losing out on a lot of potential customers by having that on your site. So skip the Flash, go to HTML. Okay, you can't update your content. We build all of our sites on the WordPress platform. They come with a built-in content management system so that you can add blog posts, updates, news updates, the latest things that are going on with your company, or what things people might need to know about your company as it changes throughout the years or months or whatever. So if you do not have a content management system on your website, then you need a new website as well. If you can't update the pages and stuff on your own, then you need a new website also. Okay, your site doesn't link to your social media accounts. If you do not have a social media account set up, first of all, you need to do that, whether it's LinkedIn, Google+, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, what have you. Those are the top ones that you should definitely be creating accounts on, and then having those link from your website. So these are another idea. Okay, this is kind of the funnier one. So even you like your competitor's site better. We hear this a lot actually when we're meeting with clients. One of the questions we ask them is, what are the top 3 sites that you like the most of your competitors' websites? And they can always name them, because what are they doing in their downtime? They're looking at their competitors and seeing what their competitors are doing. And if your site looks like this on the left, then and you love the one on the right, obviously we need to get to work and get you something that actually beats out their website, or at least is up to par with what your competitors are doing. You never want to be outdone by your competitors. So that is the last thing there. This article was written by Hannah Volz, and it's a great article that I love to refer to when I'm telling people, kind of what to look out for when they are thinking about getting a new website, or if they need a new website. So if you can relate to any of these things on here, if your site if you love your competitor's site better, if your site doesn't have social media on it, if you don't have a content management system, if your website is Flash, that's a definite sign. If your website looks like this on a big screen, that is a definite sign. If your site plays music, that needs to get fixed. If your site isn't search engine optimized, if it takes forever for your site to load, if your site isn't mobile responsive, it is a dud. And if your website is at least 3 years old, it's more than likely time to update it. So there you go. If you can resonate with any of these things on this site, on this article, then it is time for you to get a new website. And you need to click the button below, where we're going to be asking you some questions and getting some more ideas about what kind of website you need. So go ahead, click that button below. If you resonate with any of these facts, then it's time for you to update your site. And we look forward to speaking with you soon. Go ahead and click that button below.